Today in Congress, we heard Coloradans speak in defense of the president and others talking about the fear they felt when the pro-Trump mob stormed the Capitol. The impeachment vote and Colorado's votes. From our Marshall Zellinger.
Just 1 week ago, almost to the hour,
I stood in that gallery.
I laid right there on the floor of the gallery
To defend this chamber against a violent mob called here by Donald Trump.
I heard gunshots in the speaker's lobby. I heard the mob pounding on the door.
Democratic Congresswoman Diana DeGette and Congressman Jason Crow used their experiences from last week to try to convince Republican members of Congress to vote to impeach, for a second time, President Trump.
Some of my Republican colleagues are afraid of the consequences of an impeachment vote. But this Congress sends our young men and women to war every day. I'm not asking you to storm the beaches of Normandy, but only show a fraction of the courage we ask of our troops every day.
I've heard that President Trump radicalized the group the rioters who stormed this Capitol, and I would say that we need to look no further than ourselves to find out what happened and to look at history.
In his opposition to impeachment, Congressman Ken Buck, the chairman of the Colorado Republican Party, did not make any additional reference to last week's insurrection. Instead, he name-checked Robert De Niro, Madonna, and Kathy Griffin as Hollywood socialists who have threatened the president without pushback.
And nothing was said by my colleagues at that point in time.
Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who made national news yesterday for refusing to have her bag checked at the new House metal detectors, used the strongest language from any Colorado lawmaker. Not about the siege on the Capitol, but about Democrats.
I call bullcrap when I hear the Democrats demanding unity. Sadly, they are only unified in hate.
And the other member of Colorado's delegation to speak, Democratic Congressman Joe Neguse, will serve as an impeachment manager, trying to convince the Senate to convict the president.
Encouraging, inciting a mob that stormed the United States Capitol for the sole purpose of stopping the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes cannot go unanswered by this body.
It did not go unanswered in that body. The House, Trump was impeached. Colorado's Democrats voted yes, Republicans no. What next? The Senate trial where DeGette and Neguse will be trial attorneys, essentially. But we know that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell will not call the Senate back into session prior to January 19th, and Joe Biden becomes president January 20th, Kyle.
So, Marshall, so much has been made about the fact that 10 Republicans voted to impeach a president of their own party. Never has there been such a bipartisan vote on impeachment in American history. But I can't help but be struck that the president only lost 10 out of 211 Republicans when he stands accused of inciting an insurrection, a mob that took over the Capitol on live TV. That does not strike me as a great disincentive to the next president who is fond of some kind of insurrectionist mob. If you're only going to lose 10 out of 211.
You know, we call it bipartisan because at least one of the other party voted in favor. I was struck by one comment from a congressperson from Wisconsin. I didn't include it in the story because it wasn't relevant to Colorado. But he listed the things that the president said and said, obviously, it was hyperbole. Well, maybe not obviously after all. That representative voted against impeachment.
Hyperbole to everybody except for the people who went and did it. Yep. Marshall, thank you.